The conference for us was very, very interesting. It was a great platform for us to get our name out there. We have a very specific focus when we do our work. We focus on impact, and we also focus on ensuring that the development funds that we work with are not seen as grant funding, but we use them as investments into our community. And so the way that we see it is we try and we attract people who are interested in investing in these communities and creating jobs. So for us, it was really exciting. It's an opportunity for us to network with the right kind of people who can assist us in our mission moving forward.
Laura and Lebo, thank you very much for joining us, and the CEO of the IDC, Jeffrey, much appreciated that we could catch up. Quite an impressive event you are hosting here. I'm impressed. I saw even during lunchtime that you really brought in the crowds here, right? But as IDC, normally you'd be in big boardrooms, I suppose, with big corporates when you're doing deals. Today, you've got to face some of your smaller clients, startup companies, and small businesses. What's your experience been like dealing with this kind of sector in the economy?
Well, thanks for having me, Tim. When we deal with small business, we've realized that there's a bit of more support that is needed. Because also you get new players who don't have an experience, but you get players who have the ability to create jobs faster. I think it's known that small business creates jobs much faster. But when times are tough, they don't have as enough of the cushion as the big ones would have to ride that. So we're having this session really to try and make it easier for first-timers to get access to information, but also to learn from some of those that have made it. But we're also having this session because we want to target youth entrepreneurship. Because not everybody is going to be employed, that we know. But the issue of job creation is for all of us. So we want youth entrepreneurs to be in the core of the economy, not on the peripheries. Not that there's anything wrong if one wants to start a salon or one wants to start a fish and chips. But somebody has to manufacture. Somebody has to produce. Somebody has to ensure that they take advantage of the environment, be it in the recycling industry, be it in the renewable energy. So we're doing that, we're creating that platform so that really, as we make facilities available, at least we know that people have the ability, have the knowledge, are actually well prepared for the challenges.
But what's unique about your offering? Because we've got so many funding agencies in South Africa at the moment, right? Including banks for that matter. So there's something unique, I suspect, that you are doing as the IDC. Are there any specific sectors that are excluded or included?
Okay. Well, let's start with what is unique. What is unique is that we take a higher risk. So that's why we have more tolerance for startups. Because we know businesses don't just happen on day one. So we would provide what we call moratorium, so in the early stages as it's building up, so that you don't worry about repaying. But also what we also do is we take a long-term view, because what happens is we know some of these businesses will need 5-7 years, and we need to be there. We need to stay right through. And also then for the youth entrepreneurs, we say if you create employment at the cost of less than $500,000 per job, you'll be able to access our funding at a very competitive rate of prime plus 3. We know it's not only the access to funding that is needed, but it's also the cost of funding. Now, as IDC, we don't take deposits like the others, so that means we'll have to work smarter to ensure that we try and bring the cost of funding down. And then we pass that. And I think that's, for us, that's what makes us a little bit more unique than just the banks. In terms of the sectors, we do predominantly all the manufacturing sectors. We do the processing sectors, be it in terms of agro-processing, but also in terms of value add. We also do the tourism sector. We will also do what we call new industries. Those industries that look small now, but they can actually be great in years to come. Also, we're looking on the renewable side. What we don't do property development. If people want to do property development, that we would not do, or would not do retail as it is. We've got an entity called Small Enterprise Finance Agency, SIFA, which is our sister company, that you'll be able to do a bit of most of the retail.
But anyway, of the IDC is what, 75, 76?
Yeah, we're 76 years this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, mindset is not that of a 76-year-old, I suppose, when you're dealing with young people.
We have to, Tim, you have to always reinvent yourself.
But experience counts, I suppose.
Yeah, experience is a good base, but you must be open to new ideas.
Sure.
Because times change. I mean, when I started, there were no apps. Now there are apps. So
Exactly.
we have to.
We'll come back to some of the things that you get up to as the IDC. But let me introduce Lebo. Welcome, pleasure once again.
Thank you for having me.
And Lauren, just Lebo, starting with you. Tell me a bit about your background and company, what I learned you are in recycling and nail spray.
Yes.
Yeah.
I run a waste management company called Bhangula Waste and Recycling. We are a recycling company that bases on domestic recycling. Those are your plastics, your cardboard, your paper. These are materials we extract from vendors that are informally based, as well as corporate clients as well.
All right, and Lauren, you are based in Cape Town.
Yes.
And your company?
Our company is called Harlem Chemical Innovations. We specialize in the water treatment and petrochemical industry. We invented a product called the dip tube, which is currently replacing the wooden dipsticks in the fuel industry. We specialize in water treatment as well. We have our chemical engineers that deal with that side.
You know, one thing about entrepreneurs and people who start their businesses is what I would say, they have pluck, courage to face the unknown and do so with confidence, right?
Sure.
And sometimes one would regard it as bravery that is based on ignorance, but you still have to dare and go in there and make it happen.
Yeah.
What got you to start your own business? You were telling me that it's what, 2-3 years in the making, and you've grown your staff to about 18 people, right? Yeah, so
I think
got you involved?
I was very fortunate enough at a very young age to experience the complexities of life. Firstly, studying, and secondly, working for someone else. When I worked for someone else, I realized that my time and dedication would be better suited trying to do something else that would be bigger. That's when I took the decision and took the risk to leave my job and to go in pursuit of starting a business. Now, it's not a one-day thing. You need to be a risk taker. You need to understand that there are certain actions you cannot reverse. At the same time, you need to also have a plan, and you also need to be dedicated as well.
And Lauren, in your case, you are a company of about 8. I gather. Yeah, and your business idea, how did it come about?
Well, the brains behind our innovation or invention is our director, Simpiwe Kuzwayo. He's a chemical engineer, and the product, he actually started on this product like 5 years ago. So the idea behind it was to bring solutions to the petrochemical industries and to provide solutions to all their problems. And that's where our product came in and the idea behind it.
And of course, great ideas are always welcome, but you need resources, you need business plans, you need all kinds of things to get going, right? And with all the confidence in the world, if you don't have the appropriate resources and know-how, you may not achieve your goal.
It's true.
Challenges of that nature, did you experience them?
Yes, I did. Initially, when I wanted to get the business funded, I was told I needed a business plan. Now, being a varsity dropout, I couldn't compile a business plan. Yes, I have an idea of what the contents are of a business plan, but specifically, you need someone with the expertise, someone who understands what a funder is looking for, someone who can think as a funder. That's when I went to the NYDA, and they were the guys that assisted me with a business plan at that time.
And then approaching the IDC, that happened after that?
Yes, because we need a business plan. IDC is not going to consider your idea if you don't have a business plan. A business plan is basically a guideline to show IDC how viable your business is, because IDC is not going to just take money and throw it an idea. They need to see what securities they have in terms of the market that you are servicing, in terms of how much money you'll be making, if you will be able to pay back the money you're asking from the IDC. It then started making sense. And secondly, IDC was not the only institution that I had sent my business plan to. I had 12 copies of my business plan. IDC was the only institution that gave me a positive feedback. Not necessarily them calling me and saying, we want to fund you today, but him calling me and saying, okay, Mr. Malope, here we've got an idea here. I think we can sit down and work on a few things and see where we can take it from there. That alone was enough to say we can have a relationship going forward.
So, Lauren, there are a variety of challenges when one starts a business. It could be funding, it could be any other challenge. But to get to the point where you are now, which hurdles did you overcome?
Well, The first hurdle, like he explained, we approached the agency that assisted us with the business plan. In terms of financing, it wasn't that difficult. We approached and we were advised to approach the IDC because of the funding structure and how willing they are to provide funding for industries like ourselves. So we approached the IDC and the actual process and application went quite smoothly. The hurdles that we had to overcome within our industry is bringing change. In our industry, everybody's reluctant to change, especially with the new product that we have developed. But with the support of the IDC and always backing us up and offering the support that they do, we are where we are at today. Yes, we have 8 employees. Our vision is to grow. We are currently, actually, luckily, this has been our first week that we're actually opening offices in Johannesburg as well. So everything is growing wonderfully for us. Yeah.
But Geoffrey, you launched a portal here today. It's targeting young people. What's the thinking behind it? If you can just talk me through that and how it's going to make it easier for potential clients to access IDC and the funding that you have.
Yeah. So thanks for the question. You know, the launching of this portal, it comes from some of the experiences as we go. We do what we call roadshows. So we go to different provinces, and we engage with people, and we get feedback. Sometimes the house gets packed. But then you see that people are not really ready at that level. Some of them don't have the information. Some of them think they have great ideas, of which we've seen them, have they been tested. But also some of them think, no, man, this guy is coming here, is wasting our time. I mean, really, it's only for the guys in Sentin. So in that portal, what we're saying is there's one, area where it says, ask the expert. So right at the beginning, just test your idea with us. So we'll get it, and then we'll get it to our SBU heads, and then they'll say, okay, can this thing work? But also in that portal, in that platform, it gives you an opportunity to go in and see those that have made it. What were the hurdles that they've gone through, and really what encouragement are they giving? So that gives you a sense, so that you say, okay, if these guys have done it this way, maybe I shouldn't. And also in there, it also will give you an opportunity so you to know who are the other funders, because we won't necessarily fund everything. And then that gives you a sense, okay, to say, oh, okay, these are the funds. But it also gives you an opportunity to say who else are providing non-financial support. So that's the phase of that one. And it also provides an opportunity for networking, because you produce something, and you need, in your quest to create that market, you need to see who else are the buyers. So now if you interact as you, then you can hopefully find other people who will be able to buy your product, or can even supply you on that. So it's really a good opportunity for people to network and share ideas, and then hopefully from that we can be able to, when we get those applications, because also there's a selfish reason for us, is that when we get the applications, they're probably well thought through, and people indeed are bringing in business plans that indeed can actually be funded.
But you know, we've been talking a lot about business or entrepreneurship in South Africa, and everybody believes that they can be. Now, let's be brutally frank here. It's not everyone who can run a successful business, isn't it?
Absolutely.
From your experience, the qualities that to your mind make for a great entrepreneur or potentially successful entrepreneur, what would you say those are?
Well, there's lots of them, but there's one for me. If you're passionate about what you want to do, that's a good start. I mean, you shouldn't give up at the first hurdle, but you must be prepared. If you're passionate, you'll be prepared to work hard, to make sacrifices, to spend those sleepless nights, to say when one door is closed, you go forward to another door. Not to expect handouts. It's not easy. You'll go through difficult times, which is one of the reasons why, as IDC, we have that long-term view, because we know, 76 years of experience, not that I'm 76 years, 76 years of experience has taught us that particularly when you are a first entry, as she said, you come up with a new product, it's difficult for people to think, will this guy be around in 2 years? Now I'm committed there. But you need really not to have an attitude where you give up very easily.
Thanks very much, Geoffrey, Lauren, and Lebo. Great stories that we shared here. And IDC is open to do business with you. They've even set up a new portal If you are below 36, SA under 36.co.za, that's where you go. But you go first to the IDC website, and then it will direct you accordingly.
It's an opportunity for us to network with the right kind of people.
For us, being able to connect with people from broad aspects was just amazing.
This has been a two-day conference hosted by the IDC and putting their money where their mouths are. 4.5 billion rands committed to the youth enterprises. We had fun here talking to some of the emerging business people as well as the executives of the IDC, and we hope that you gained some insights and you gained information that you can use. And from us, till next time, goodbye.